Is that something that you have so many different people now that other, that have these very important associations with you. Is that a burden? Is that something that gives you a great deal of satisfaction that they how do you take that responsibility and interact with these people that maybe over the years you've got a whole community of people that you've had that kind of relationship with?
The great part about it is people are connected to so many other folks. They have family, they have their own church family, they have dear friends that they truly recover with, and my job is to get them on the start of that path where they start to recover and do well. Sometimes it takes a little longer, the follow-up, and that's where maybe a little stronger relationships develop, but usually they migrate back to their pastor and to their friends and to their family, and I'm just the nice guy that helped them when they first heard the news, and I don't mind being that person. I like it because I know I did something good for somebody, and it's very hard for me to watch this being done wrong, and because you can do so much damage to somebody if you come to them with this news and are not prepared to deal with the aftermath of what you just said, and you can destroy their life forever, or you can start the healing process right there.
Explain why that is not more of a is there a problem with either the government or the city or not recognizing how important that is? I mean, why isn't that more of a priority? I'm trying to ask you why aren't there police chaplains posted everywhere and paid whatever the heck they want? I guess.
Well, it's all finances. When I started as a chaplain in the ICPC, there was, in the area that I was in, which was Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and part of Louisiana there, I think there were 30 of us the first meeting. Now there's hundreds in that same group. I think people are starting to figure out, and have for a number of years, how important police chaplaincy is. Most of the time it's a money thing. There's not enough money to have a full-time paid chaplain. And there's enough of us out there that are willing to do this for nothing because we want to help, that there's so many more chaplains now than there's ever been. And you see it in the military, you see it in the government now, you see it in local communities where there's people now that are doing a great job, and they are being used properly to do the very difficult things that police officers just aren't trained to do. And people, I think, are starting to truly recognize the value of having a police chaplain now, like they never have before.
Real briefly, I just want to touch upon what you said, that people can make a really bad mistake, or they can do it wrong when they give a notification. Can you give me just an example? So, I mean, there are people out there that are watching this that may be put in that position. As a matter of fact, given the demographics, they probably will find themselves in that position. So, three tips real quick, or what?
First of all, be direct with somebody. Tell them you have sad news. It's not always bad news. I've been told by somebody, when I went to the door of this one house, I told the lady that her husband had been killed in an automobile accident, and then I won't tell you what she said to me, but it was something to the point, well, he deserved it, and slammed the door in my face. So it wasn't sad news for her, or bad news. It was sad news, but it wasn't bad news. She wasn't all that worked up. But be direct with people. Say, your loved one was killed in a car accident. your loved one was killed in a gunfight, whatever it might have been. So there's no doubt in their mind. I watched a doctor come in and tell this lady, well, there's nothing more I can do for your husband. And he walked out of the room, and she thought that meant he was fine and he was going home. He was dead. I knew it. The coroner walked in the room to talk to her, and I had to back him out of the room because the lady had no understanding that her husband was dead because the doctor didn't say it. Use the word, dead, died, killed, whatever it might be. And always, 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 always have them seated with their backside below their knees so they can't get up real quick, and keep a piece of furniture between you and the person that you're talking to. Because a number of times I was punched over couches, and because, you know, the whole concept of you kill the messenger, and people get so upset they don't have a clue what they're doing, and so they react very strongly, and never let them alone. One of my chaplains had a very bad experience with that, where the lady asked if she could go to the restroom, and she walked out of the room and she killed herself after he had told her that her husband had passed away. Make sure that there's somebody with them all the time. If you have to stay until family comes, or their pastor comes, or their, you know, spiritual advisor comes to the house, stay. Never let them alone after you give that kind of news to somebody.